When you were young, you actually got polio. Your dad was off fighting the Germans. And this, I think, really shaped you. And if you would talk about that and talk about your mom, who I think was very heroic in helping raise you.
Yeah, I mean, here was the situation. As you indicated, Matt, Dad was overseas in Europe. Mom was at home. She actually moved in with our sister in a little crossroads in Alabama. There wasn't even a stop sign there. People didn't even slow down when they went through. And the way polio worked, you thought you had the flu. And then when the flu went away, you could have all kinds of problems, from dying to being in an iron lung to having something less. It affected my left quadricep, which is between your knee and your hip. Obviously, I didn't bounce back like they had hoped, so fortunately, we were within 60 miles of Warm Springs, Georgia, where President Roosevelt had set up a polio treatment center, and a lot of people who worked and knew a lot about physical therapy. My mother went over there. They taught her a regimen to administer to my leg 4 times a day, they said, and don't let him walk. If any of you have had 2-year-olds, they were afraid that if I tried to walk too soon, the muscle wouldn't recover as much as they hoped it was going to, and I'd be in a brace the rest of my life. So she literally watched me like a hawk every waking moment for 2 years. And my first memory in life was the last visit to Warm Springs, where the nurses told my mother they thought I was going to be okay without a brace and without a limp. And we stopped in a shoe store on the way home and bought a pair of low-top shoes. And the reason I started the book with that story is because I think, who knows how much of an impact the things that occur to us really early in life have on us, but it was an example of extraordinary discipline, sticking to a game plan, and getting the outcome you wanted to get. And I think for most of us who are not overnight sensations, which is true of most of us, that's really the key to success, no matter what particular line of work you go into.
Yeah, and it would be obviously easy to draw a parallel to your Senate career as you do. But there was another thing you talk about in the book that I think also might speak to the challenges that you've had to overcome. And there was a guy named Dickie McGrew. Who was Dickie McGrew?
Perfect name, right?
Dickie
McGrew, I was about 7. Dickie McGrew was the guy across the street who was bigger and older than I was, and he was a bully. And he was always pushing me around. And my dad was outside one day in the yard, and he had watched this for a period of weeks, and he called me over, and he said, "Son, I want you to go over there, and I want you to beat Dickie up." I said, "Dad, he's older than I am, and he's bigger than I am." And my dad said, "I'm older than he is and bigger than he is." Given that Hobson's choice, I screwed up my courage without much hope of success, went across the street and started swinging. To my amazement, I took him down, I bent his glasses, and we never had another problem. And so that was an important lesson too, particularly if you went into my line of work, where frequently they're coming after you. And another formative moment.